let's go over how to break a bad habit. So it's very simple. It's the inverse of all those laws. So the inverse of law one, make it invisible. Reduce exposure or remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. So if there's stuff you do every day, hide it. Hide it away. Don't make it obvious. Don't make it visible. If I'm trying to think. If there's I'm trying to think of anything I do that's like that, but I know there probably is, but I can't think of anything at the moment. But if there's something that you do every day that's not necessarily a good habit, get rid of it. If it's nothing you need or want, or hide it. If it's something you do need at your house or something, depending on what it is, hide the remote, hide the TV remote, do stuff like that. Make it where it's not visible for you to keep doing. Make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding the bad habits. So make it obvious. Like, make it in your head to be like, if I do this habit, it's not good for me. Like, it's not worth me doing because it's not going to help me. It's not going to have any benefits. So you just got to kind of change your mindset. The inverse of the third law, make it difficult, increase friction, increase the number of steps between you and your bad habits. Use a commitment device, restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. So it's just you got to make it harder for you to actually get into those habits again. It's not saying, because you don't necessarily lose those habits. They're always going to be there and programmed into your mind at one point because you've done it for so long, depending on what it is. But it's just making it harder for you to do it, and that will make it less likely for you to keep going. Make it unsatisfying. Inversion of the fourth law. Get an accountability partner. Ask someone to watch your behavior. Create a habit contract. Make the cost of your bad habits public and painful. So that alone is one of the templates he uses as an example, is a habit contract. Make a contract for someone to sign, you or someone else, that keeps you accountable to what you do. It's about the accountability of keeping to certain habits. I was so surprised, or not so surprised, but it was very surprising that there was so many similarities between this book and David Goggins that it kind of shocked me. Just by some of the rules he set out to make actually had such a large impact on an effect just from habit. Like he said, put on your running shoes every day. He's like, and even part of the things he talks about, he literally says, he's like, there's times I woke up and I put on my running shoes and I've sat there for 30 minutes because I didn't want to go run. But just being there and doing the part of putting on his running shoes made it where he's going to. It's just he had to get himself to do it. Or one of his main things that I really do want to start implementing myself is his accountability mirror. It's kind of the same thing as what they just talked about. Keep yourself accountable. One of the main things that David Goggins talked about as one of his challenges was write down the shit you want to do. Write down the goals. Write down the stuff you want to identify with. Like, how do you want to change your identify? Who do you want to become? How do you get there? Write that shit down. Throw it in a mirror. You're going to see that mirror every damn day. So then at one point, look at that mirror and be honest with yourself. Are you working towards that goal sitting on that mirror? If not, keep yourself accountable and keep fucking going. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like, if you do that and you set small goals, it doesn't have to be anything major. In this, he talks about goals are great, but you can't rely just on the goals you set. You got to rely on the habits to get you to those goals. Is making those slight changes to slowly get you there that's the important thing, not necessarily focusing on the end result. And that's part of the thing of, like, people say, it's like, don't focus on don't focus on the end goal or the accomplishment. Focus on the journey to get there, because if you enjoy the journey by making the small changes, the goal itself won't be the highlight of the stuff you do. Most people talk about once you hit certain goals is when if that's the only thing they focus on, that's when they feel the most confused, because they don't have something to keep them going. People that make a goal and then hit it and stop, instead of actually making a habit to just keep growing and developing that habit and keep the goal moving, keep the goalpost moving, and just form a habit instead of a one-time thing, it has such a large effect on how you look at certain things. So it's like what he said, keep an accountability mirror. It has a lot to do with like the habit forming. Yeah, I didn't realize it at the time, but a lot of the stuff he does is habit forming. And part of the thing that I've realized with this is repetition is more important than the like being perfect. Just doing it over and over again, and the more you do it, like people say, oh, it takes 20 days to make a habit, it takes 30 days to make a habit. It depends on how often you do the habit. If you do the habit every day, yeah, maybe if you do it once a day, maybe in 30 days you can make that habit. If it's something you do once a month, it's not going to be the same. It just depends on how many times you do that habit, on how quickly it's going to actually stick. And so you just got to be repetitive in whatever it is you do.